from? You guessed it, prison. I just got done doing 7 straight years in Florida State Prison. And now, fortunately for me, I made 6 figures building AI agentic systems for businesses that, need help to scale. So good to have you here. Today, we're going to be talking about like cold emails. It's something that really changed my business more than a lot of other actions, like significantly. Okay. So this AI system, it finds leads, number one. It writes personalized cold emails for each one. It sends them. When somebody replies positively, it then automatically does a deep research on that business, drafts the follow-up for me, sends it for them. Like then it gets like a lead magnet, because I have like a bank of lead magnets per industry that I use depending on like the response, time of year, stuff like that. And it'll actually draft up that entire PDF, personalize it, customize it to this business, and send it right over. So I do not write emails anymore. I really hope you don't write emails anymore. I hope that you are beginning to understand that we have to be managers now. You feel me? Put more our manager hat on and really kind of oversee agents. Okay. So I don't research leads. I literally just check my phone, look for an approval message, approve, look it over, approve it, reject it, whatever it is. And then leads just come in from there. So today I really want to show you exactly how that works, the exact tools that I use, the actual setup, because I think that this is really something that any business owner can build. Okay. You don't have to be like super technical, because literally I wasn't technical like when I started out. So about to start sharing my screen here so y'all can see a little something. So let me go and bring up that whimsical so y'all can see that. You heard me? Yes, sir. Y'all tell me, y'all. Holly, if you hit me. All right. So AI operating systems for businesses. Every business has systems, or every business should have systems, and they permeate like all businesses. It doesn't matter like what you do. You have to generate leads. You have to sell to those leads. You have to onboard those leads. Then you have to fulfill those leads. Okay. And with AI being here, we all need to understand that building AI operating systems is what business and the economy of business is going to be moving forward. It already is right now, but moving forward is just going to get more and more adopted um worldwide or widespread, whatever you want to say when you say that. So when I was out here freelancing, y'all, like I was shooting videos, I was building websites, I was doing content for local businesses, doing the most. And the hardest part was like never to work for real, for real. I'm super good at the work. And even if I'm not like proficient at the work, I am going to work harder than anyone else to get proficient. Period, point blank. The one thing that I can control is my effort. And I vow to myself, but it's gonna be hard to outwork me. Okay. You might have some more connections, you might be, somewhere else, but it's gonna be hard to outwork me. I'm trying to close that gap. Okay. So the hardest part was like finding the next client in that whole freelance sector of my life. Like I finish a project, I feel great about it like one day, then I wake up the next morning, I just be like, damn, bro, you got to make some more money. Like this ain't gonna last forever. And I've just, I'd be back on Instagram, DMing, cold calling, going on Upwork, putting in my applications and stuff like that, really just hoping someone responded. And that's around that time is like when I started realizing that I got the skills to pay the bills. Okay. That's really not the problem that I had. The problem was I didn't have any systems in place nowhere. I was literally running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And if I could fix lead generation, as that is top of funnel, everything else essentially will become easier. But lo and behold, even if you do have a good lead generation system, that really exposes any other weaknesses and any other systems that you have. So I really fixed that first and foremost, like with AI, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I did that right here. So First and foremost, let's go ahead and go to my DNS records. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what DNS means, we're in the same boat. Neither do I. I just know my way around it because I've had to do this like so many times. So like DNS like comes from your domain provider, GoDaddy, Namecheap. Is so many out there. Port bun, it doesn't matter. Okay. So you need sending domains when it comes to doing cold emails. And these are separate from your main website domain. So my main website domain is loveshotsmedia.com. My email is Cameron@loveshotsmedia.com. When it comes to cold emails, I'm not going to be sending thousands and thousands of emails from Cameron@loveshotsmedia.com. That is just not good for deliverability. Okay. And if you are sending letters to anyone, you want to make sure that it gets delivered. All right. That'd be the first, like you want to make sure that it gets delivered. So if your cold emails are getting flagged as like spam and like you don't want that touching your main domain. Okay. So your real website, you want to keep that separate so it always just stays clean. So these are DNS records, and literally like you put these in and they have step-by-step guides and whatever it is that you are trying to do. So a lot of times when I'm using Lovable, I may need to connect a custom like domain to Lovable, and Lovable really will literally tell you exactly what type to have, what name to have, what data to have, like every single field that you need to fill in, it'll do it for you. Some softwares even like autonomously handle it for you. Family don't pull it back up, y'all. So I can't really remember how many domains I have right now, but it's a few. I got a few domains right now, and it costs me anywhere from like $100 something like dollars a year. So you go to any registrar, you buy domains that look close to your business name. So if your business is something like, let's say, Smith's Plumbing or something like that, you get something like salessmithplumbingco.com or smithplumbingco.com, like something just really close to your original domain name. Okay, that's when you then end up setting up the DNS records, the SPF records, the DKIM records, the DMARC records, and stuff like that. So I understand that those types of things just sound, let's say, technical, but really honestly, like I did not know anything about that. Hold on, baby. No, you can't watch that right here right now because I'm doing something. Hold on. I can't do that right now, baby. Can't do that right now, baby. Can't do that right now. Please. All right, so back to the plane. So it's really just text records, you guys. Okay, so you paste your domain in the settings. It's really not like super technical. It's different, and a lot of times, like business owners, when it comes to like doing, so when it comes to like doing like cold emails or just doing anything at all, anything that's different will really kind of like confuse you. Okay, so you're never going to be good at anything in the beginning, and a lot of us, especially me, because I am hard on myself when it comes to anything that I do, I just want to be great at everything. So when I start something new, and I'm not great at it, I just, no, this is hard, this is difficult. But really, everything is difficult in the beginning of anything you do. So these are the emails that really, like the DNS records, is what tells the servers, or let's say the person that you're trying to talk to on the internet. The DNS records tells them that, hey, this person is legit, or this person is allowed in. Okay, so this is like your golden ticket. All right, so you can think about your DNS records as your golden ticket, and without these, like your emails will go straight to spam. All right, and this is, I do not like spam. No one likes spam at all, so it's just not a good situation. So you just want to make sure you always have your DNS records set up, period, point blank, and don't get panties in the wall because you can't figure it out. Like, you can literally figure out anything. You just put your mind to it. You just take enough time. That's another thing, like with life in general. Like, we are so what's that word, man? Um Instant gratification. Like, we want instant gratification so much. And then with the internet, then with AI now, it's just making things just so much faster. So we want things right now. So we have to understand that we're still humans. The same way that a computer learns is the same way that we learn. Repetition, doing things over and over and over again for an extended amount of time. So once you get your DNS records and all that together, and you get your you get your domains, then you'll connect it to Instantly, Smartly, any type of like cold email platform. So this is I use Instantly, not because it's better than any other sending platform. It's just I started out with it. I know it the best. And when you try to understand or learn each and every software, especially in this AI economy, bro, it is tools coming out every day. So you will literally go crazy trying to learn everything. I just like to stick to one thing, get very proficient at it, very good at it. And if I want to like go to something else, then I would, but it's not absolutely necessary. So you add your domains here to Instantly, you guys. You connect your email accounts, and then you start warming them up. So if anyone doesn't understand what warming up emails is, that is pretty much, you can't just create an email account and go to blasting out thousands of emails, y'all. That is not going to work. We're going to flag that. All right. So you got to kind of warm them up. Usually takes about 7-10 days, sometimes 14 days, and you just be sending what you're doing here essentially is you're just sending emails back and forth to other emails that you own. So it kind of just like working out, strengthening up your authenticity. Okay, so you can obviously get past those servers so you can look legit. All right, so let's go ahead and go to my campaign so y'all can see. I just honestly, like, I'm doing like a huge overhaul of my entire system. So I deleted a lot of my campaigns, you guys. But this is like one of my most recent campaigns. And each campaign that I build, I usually, bless you, I usually like to target like a different type of business or some type of different angle. And warming up like my emails is very important. But if you guys see right here, which is a good thing about Instantly, is they really be having like bounce rates whenever you're let's just say that you're sending emails to a bunch of accounts that aren't available or aren't receiving your emails, then you'll like Instantly will automatically just pause your campaign. So that's pretty dope. I usually still go forward with it, but you kind of want to be careful with that. I kind of know my way around kind of like the cold email game. I'm not gonna say burnt, a significant amount of money, but I've learned through economic impact, all right, how to use cold emails for sure. So like I was explaining, you can't just like really just buy a bunch of emails and then just go to sending a bunch of emails every day. That's why warming up is like super important when it comes to cold emails. This campaign didn't do too bad. I think I closed maybe like 2 deals out of that. And once you close like 2 deals, like that literally pays for an entire year of like cold emails. So it's like the ROI from cold emails is a lot higher than other lead generation strategies. So that's why I always like to tell people, hey, cold emails is the game. But with this AI economy and AI doing everything, you will never be able to tell that my emails are written by me. Okay. I am very particular when it comes to using AI for content, bro. I'm so particular about that. I'm gonna tell y'all again, I do not like to read AI fluff, bro. It just be like you didn't put any thought into it. If you just put something in the chat GPT or Claude and you just push enter and think you're gonna send it to me or anyone else and really get like some reaction out of it, like it's just not gonna work, bro. Because if that's how you perform, like in the like preserving or doing the least amount of work possible, like you can only imagine what you would do if I was to like do business with you. So if you're not already showing me that, hey, that you can't even read over the fluff that AI be sending and kind of, try to customize and to personalize to me, then it's just like, okay, fam, what are you doing? Okay, what are you, what, yeah, what are we doing? Okay. But so that'll be your infrastructure when it comes to cold emails. Now, when it comes to leads, you have to be able to find out or scrape exactly like where leads come from. So this is Superbase. If you guys don't know what Superbase is pretty much like a database for all of your records, all of your data, everything. It's really like a souped up, super souped up Excel sheet. And it just houses all of your data. Now, once again, I love to talk to non-tech business owners because I like to kind of throw you guys in the water and kind of try to let you swim by going deep into things that may look and seem technical, but really aren't if you break it down. So you can't try to sit around here and then just ingest everything at once and then expect to even like make any money or anything like that. If you set your expectations like accordingly, then when you approach tech, you won't get frustrated the first time you run into a bug, an error, because they are coming and they are not leaving. They are going to be here forever and ever. Bugs and all that type of stuff. That's just what lies with tech. So hey, thank you. So each one of these records, they have a business name, they got their email, they got enrichment statuses. So I use Amplify to actually scrape, but then I filter and then put these leads within Superbase. So my AI, it literally enriches every lead before it goes to a campaign. It does everything. So I use a combination of tools when I'm finding my leads. I use Google Maps. I use Amplify. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Amplify. Amplify's fire, but if you haven't, please get on the bandwagon. Okay, but this is how you scrape leads, just depending on exactly where you want to like get your data from. So I use a bunch of scrapers because they have like you can get an Instagram scraper. So let's just say you're reaching out to people through Instagram and you want to scrape their Instagram profile for some posts or pictures or just any type of data that you can use in approach to them, kind of try to break the ice like when you're reaching out and stuff like that. So not only do I scrape my data, but then I obviously have to validate my data before I do any form of enrichment. So when I say validate, I mean I'll make sure that these emails are valid. I use a software called mails.so. And what this does is this validates the emails for me. So make sure I'm not sending to, bogus emails. I also use something called Any Mail Finder. And Any Mail Finder allows you to, let's say I scrape some data from Amplify and I cannot find the email of the business, but I maybe have the business owner's name. I maybe have the domain name or something like that. You can just put that in the Any Mail Finder, literally put it in Any Mail Finder right here, found you can search from the company, the LinkedIn URL, doesn't matter, the person. So you can filter by that, and then it'll find emails that are associated with that particular business. Okay. So you'd really be surprised like how many scraped emails I've gotten that are literally dead leads. Look, like thousands. So I have to like that's another thing about cold emails is it's a volume game, you guys. You got to really scrape, reach out, super volume. Okay. But AI literally enriches. Let me go back to my database. So AI literally enriches each and every lead. Okay. So it finds their email, it validates it, it pulls data about that business directly into, the software. So when the emails goes out, like it already knows exactly who it's going out to. So I also couple this with my my cold call agents. So my cold call agents has the same information as my cold email agents. So if someone, let's say, replies positively to a cold email, well, then my cold call agent will also know that and then be able to bring that up on a phone call whenever they do get through. Now, I'm really trying to really get like, what is that word? I'm trying to understand the real sauce I'm trying to figure out how do I get my AI to get past the gatekeepers. Oh my goodness. When I figure this out, it's over with. All right. That has been a super bottleneck for me right now. That's to be continued. I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna get it together though. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into some prompts. I got this right here. Let's copy that. So most people, when it comes to prompting, literally it's just lost in a sauce. Okay, so they may write like one template and then try to blast that to everyone. Like, hey John, I noticed your business. Like, bro, nobody says, hey, I noticed your business, bro. Like, you were doing good. Like, nobody speaks like that. So you have to really put some form of effort into any type of AI generated content, period, point blank, any AI generated copy, period, point blank. I'm not telling you not to use AI for copy. I am telling you to use AI for everything. I don't know what it is I don't use AI for. I literally use AI for everything, but I read everything AI is saying or thinking. I try to have myself here present so I can be reading and understanding, being able to stop it and stuff like that. So when you just like template emails and just send them out, I just be thinking like, bro, just don't do that. Okay. Because everybody deletes it. And then what you're doing to the economy is you are reducing the value of cold emails when you send out just BS for real, y'all. So let me go ahead and show y'all what happens. When I ask Claude to just write me a cold email sequence. All right. So I'm reaching out to med spas in Sarasota called Glow Aesthetics. They do Botox, fillers, and laser treatments. Their Instagram shows that they just hit 500 followers. I want you to write a 3 email cold outreach sequence where email 1 is the intro, email 2 adds value, email 3 is the soft close. Keep each email under 100 words, casual tone, no corporate language. Big thing, you guys, when you are using AI, when you are using chat, Claude, Perplexity, whatever it is, you guys, first and foremost, research. Research. It takes a little bit more time, but a lot of y'all do not have the patience to engineer a proper prompt. In the beginning of time, just a few short years ago, or a few short decades ago, computer engineers literally have had, or computer software engineers have literally had a chokehold on the game, you guys, because no one could speak the language or no one could write the language. When you go to a different country, bro, and you can't talk the language people talking, you be confused. All right, you always thinking. I know when I go to the nail shop, I always think they talk about my feet. I be like, come on, bro, you talking about my feet? You feel me? But that's just because I don't know the language. So software engineers, they knew the language or whatever language that they studied. So they were always able to speak to computers. We have not been able to speak to computers until now. And now you can talk to computers in natural language. But although that is absolutely great and that really lowers the bar or barrier of entry, because I am a real deal vibe coder. When I say that I am a real deal vibe coder, I mean I have no technical background when it comes to vibe. I mean, when it comes to software engineering. So a lot of this knowledge that I know, I literally had to learn by mistakes. I had to build significantly complex software and systems, straight vibe coding, and then find out that a 200 status does not mean that you or the action is production ready. A 200 status, if you get a 200 status, that could just mean that your API endpoints are healthy. That an API endpoint like exists somewhere for this. But that doesn't mean that the content or the copy or the action that that API endpoint has is actually, production ready. So you would think that you have just a magnificent software. All right. And you'll end up like, and it's just, I see a lot of people on here talking about like how they be vibe coding, but whole time, like these people be having a software engineering background. I do not have that. But now the systems that I develop, I understand why these folks get paid what they get paid. Okay. Because it's much more than just writing code, especially when it comes to actual agentic systems. When I say agentic systems, I mean actual work being done by AI through the systems of your business, not just, you're putting some like, no. These are real end-to-end systems, and what it takes to actually design those systems and thinking about the architecture that goes into system design. That is very, very important. That's Hey, baby, that's almost more important than the actual code. Okay, you have to have the system designed correctly. The same way I'm talking about when it comes to businesses, you guys have to have the systems. So continuing on here, y'all. Here is, what Claude said. The subject, congrats on 500. Hey, name, it's all right. Saul Glow just hit up. It's all right. Worth a quick chat. Fluff. So if you look at these 3 emails, like each one references like their specific business. Okay. So the booking gap most spas don't know they have. You see it has all lowercase, which is very, very smart. You don't want to have, but this right here, this is AI fluff, you guys. If you do not know, that line is AI fluff, and it's funny because I build systems. Didn't even know that until my mom told me. Didn't even notice it, y'all. All right, but each one of these emails, like it mentions their services, their Instagram growth, and it really is. It isn't like templated. Okay, the AI wrote this. AI did this, but it was specifically for glow aesthetics. Now, me personally, I have some things that I just wouldn't do. The no pitch, no pressure. I don't like how AI like doubles up sequences or triples up sequences. I don't like that. I don't like the extended, what would y'all call that? Like extended hyphen. But for sake of brevity, let's just say that you have this type of system that's sending out thousands and thousands of emails every day. Like the AI being able to generate like unique sequences for each and every business. Just think about the power of that. If you get an email that speaks about or mentions a post that you just did an hour ago or yesterday, ties it or blends it to their business, and where I just to go off on a little tangent right here, AI is obviously going to change the world as it already is. But where everyone I feel like is getting it wrong is everyone's afraid that AI is going to take like everyone's job or is going to do everything, whatever it is. But whole time, the people that are going to win, in my opinion, moving forward, are the most creative. Because if everyone can start right here when it comes to task execution, so everyone can execute tasks at a high level or cheap as hell. Well, what's going to separate people? Creativity. How can you have a creative mind to be able to tell Claude or these large language models to, produce or create things that, get attention? So that's the difference between, getting replies and then what I like to say, getting ignored. All right. So let's go ahead and go into my super base once again. Do not be afraid, you guys. This is just an Excel sheet that is souped up. An Excel sheet on steroids. That's all it is. You got your columns in the same way. Let me go ahead and go to an Excel sheet. You have your columns in the same way that you have here on Superbase. That's all it is. Columns and rows, you guys. Don't worry about the text that's in there, because if I just did 2 records, it wouldn't look as intimidating. So if you see this table right here, you guys can see that email sequences are literally generated for each and every one of these leads, and they're all different. Because I love and I take it very, very serious when it comes to personalization of copy. I don't like AI fluff. I do not like AI fluff. Each one of these is personalized. Each one is unique, and that's what separates those that use AI just to use it and those that use AI and will have a significant economic benefit to their business. Okay. And this is what, like, outreach at scale really, really looks like. So let's go ahead and get into my Telegram, because I want to tell y'all how, or show y'all exactly how I um approve a lot of content. So what happens is I upload videos into my Dropbox. I have a automation that's attached to my Dropbox that whenever videos come in, it takes the video, it puts captions on the video, it researches the most viral music going on right now, and then it puts the music to the video and then sends it to here, Telegram, for me to approve, skip, or regenerate. And when I say regenerate, you can give it some feedback. Hey, the volume was too loud on this video. Hey, the captions were in the wrong place, or whatever it is. These literally just come right to my phone, y'all. And I literally just approve, whatever it is. So the ease of use and the ease of operations is really, it's never been a better time to start a business or be an entrepreneur than right now, just because of how easy it is. Is it easy? No. 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 Being an entrepreneur is hard, is hell. Is it easier than it has ever been? Yes. Still not easy though. All right. So I just don't let AI send emails or, do my content and stuff like that, because I still don't trust it in that sense all the way just yet. I do allow it to have some autonomy with certain tasks, but when it comes to copy, I'm just real finicky about that. So I always just have an approval gate when it comes to stuff like that. And if you're like in any type of regulated industry, financial, healthcare, financial services and stuff like that, it's just obviously you always have to have an approval gate, or a human in the loop is what they call it nowadays when it comes to these agentic systems. So I got a Telegram bot. It sends me not only these email sequences, every other thing that's tied to my business, and I literally just approve it here on Telegram. Be able to read in about 10 minutes. Oh, sorry, 10 seconds. Approve it, and then the AI really does the rest, you guys. So my whole involvement in email outreach is sort of like tapping buttons on my phone while I might be like kind of drinking a cup of coffee. The AI does the research, it does the writing, does the it does the personalization. I have a hard time with that word sometimes. I also have a hard time with Windisky. I don't know why I just can't say Windisky. All right, that's a southern thing. I don't know if y'all got those where you from. So I really just make sure that the copy sounds right. All right. So I know a lot of y'all probably wondering, okay, so what happens when they reply? And this is actually when stuff gets fun. Because when somebody replies positively to any email that I have, well, then I start this thing called the warm up, follow up 10-day drip. And this is where my system automatically classifies a positive response. Excuse me, y'all. And if it's positive, then it triggers a whole entire workflow where the AI then researches their business a little bit deeper. It pulls their website data, some social media stuff, some reviews, and then it drafts an even more personalized follow-up sequence according to their response. And then it starts giving them, some of my lead magnets. And those are just, PDFs of like mostly of different ways to use AI within their business to, scale. Pretty much. No, baby. I'm talking right now. I'm on a video. Yeah, I'm on a video. Okay. I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna tell you like this. Oh no, girl, you gotta put a shirt on. Go put a shirt on. You can't be on the camera with no shirt on. No, you can't be on the camera with no shirt on. Come on now, cause you're gonna make me mad. Make me mad. All right. Uh-oh. I ain't taking what you call it out there. Okay. That's that baby Charlie. Okay, so it then like delivers the lead magnets that I got, y'all. So if you haven't noticed yet, I definitely do a lot of research on the most effective lead magnets, why they're the most effective, and I try to create just valuable stuff to send to people. If the work is so easily done by AI now, y'all, the least we can do is really kind of give a lot of people more and more value, okay? Because it's a lot easier to do that now. Where before the research and doing all that type of stuff, like that took a lot of manpower, bro. And then to be able to like create a lead magnet, like that took a lot of power. Now it takes some research done by AI, and then you kind of put it together, you guys. So I did not build any of these systems within my business because I'm lazy. Wink, wink. I built it because I really learned the hard way what happens when you stop doing outreach. This had to be one of the most ridiculous decisions that I've made in my life. And let me tell you guys, all right, I just got done doing 7 years of prison. I have made some ridiculous decisions in my life. This one, this is top 10. Okay. My biggest business mistake was turning off my lead generation because I had a bottleneck in my fulfillment. When I tell you a setback, oh my goodness, y'all. So I'm getting leads in at the yin yang, and these are organic leads, okay, or cold leads coming in off the yin yang. I couldn't keep up when it came to fulfillment. I'm late on delivery of systems. This was in the beginning. I'm late on delivery of systems when I didn't have anything productized. So I was like custom making a bunch of systems. Oh, it was just, and as you know, I am very, very particular. I'm very, very hard on myself. So the later I am on system builds and deliveries, like I'm getting frustrated. It just didn't make me feel good because I take a lot of pride in my work, y'all. So I was the bottleneck in my business. And I just told myself, like, yo, don't take on more clients. Like, you tripping, bro. Like, you can't even deliver to the people you got. You cannot take on more clients. So I turned off, quote unquote, the faucet of lead generation. Y'all. That had to be the worst mistake I probably ever made. It took me like almost like 8 months to really recover from that and then like get the wheels rolling again on the lead generation. So you always just want to make sure that even if your fulfillment is suffering, you need to not turn that off. Don't turn the lead gen off. What you need to do is you need to, in my humble opinion, is you need to figure it out. Why, like, where is the bottleneck? Okay, if it is it fulfillment, is it your personal life, is it something that you need to be doing, do you need to work harder, do you need to productize? It's usually because like your systems aren't productized. That's usually why the fulfillment bottleneck happens, is because you don't have any system to fulfill for your clients as well. So you have to try to find exactly where that bottleneck is within your business. Okay. Fix the bottleneck. Do not turn off the faucet. Okay. And the best way to like never turn off the faucet is to like make it run without you. Okay. And that's what systems like this cold email system really does. All right. So for y'all who just don't know, give me 1 second. I just showed you the full cold email system infrastructure, the leads, the AI written emails, approval system, the auto follow up, everything with it. This will be a skill that I will have for you guys in the description. And everything I showed you is literally running in production right now. This is a part of my lead generation systems. And if you're watching this and you're thinking like, damn, but I need to go ahead and build this like for my business, or I need to try to figure out how to put AI agentic operating systems within my business. I built a program. It's like 12 weeks long, and it walks you through exactly how to set up each and every one of your agentic systems within your business as a business owner. You can be a solo entrepreneur. You cannot even have any leads or any business at all. And this program will literally take you from start to finish. Okay. And it then tells you or shows you step by step, me personally on camera, I show you how to do each and every one of these systems so you can start really operating with AI as like your co-pilot. Okay, so it's not just cold emails. I have voice agents, like CRM automations, the whole operating system, and it's called the AI Accelerator Program. I hope to see you guys in there if you would like. And if, let's just say, for some odd reason. You don't have a fully agentic operating system for your business. I don't care if you don't have a business right now or you do within about 90 days. Well, then you just don't pay anything until, and I will personally come develop the system for you. I'm gonna leave the link in the description if you want to possibly pull up. It ain't no pressure, but if you're sitting here manually doing anything within any operations within your business, then you need to really start thinking about how you can stop working in your business and start working on your business. Okay. Back to the regular schedule programming. Let me give you something that took me a little second to really like figure out. Okay. When it comes to cold emails specifically, subject lines. You want to keep subject lines short, but you also want to keep a little pattern disrupt within your subject line. So a lot of times we have to understand that when we're reading emails, we're not really reading emails. What we're doing is we're searching for a pattern disrupt. Literally, our eyes are scanning an email or scanning anything, looking for something that just does not look familiar or that stands out. So you have to think about that when you are sending emails to people. Okay, I may put some crazy stuff in the subject line. Okay, who knows? All right, I will put some crazy stuff in the email, and where you want to kind of be careful at is you don't want to say something too off the wall in the subject line that isn't directly or relative to the message within your email. You want to get them to click. You want to get them to open it up, but then you also want to immediately provide value. Immediately provide value. But that subject line, you got to keep it short. You got to keep a pattern disrupt in there. It's just like you texting somebody you know. Like, don't hit up people like you are a business, like it's B2B. Like, don't do that. Because at the end of the day, like, it's not more than likely right now, probably in the future, but it's more than likely that a human being is reading that. Okay. It's more likely that a human being is reading that subject line or that email. So you have to appeal to that. Tip 2, send volume. Don't think you're finna send like 100 or 200 emails and you think you're just finna get just astronomical response to that. Okay. You got to spread it out. You want to do about 30. I like to do 35 emails per email account. And then you want to get you multiple accounts per domain. Me, there is no like, people like to say, oh, only get 5 domains, but I've seen, only get like 5 email accounts per domain, or only get 3 email accounts per domain. I've seen people get like 8 email accounts per domain, and they don't like, it doesn't do anything to their deliverability, and it doesn't do anything to their deliverability. I swear English is my first language. And I've seen people get like 2 email accounts for a domain and like their whole thing be thrown. So there is no secret sauce to that. Me personally, I'm gonna get no more than 5, but I usually just get like 3 email accounts per domain. And I'm gonna send about 30 to 40, anywhere between there, of emails per day from each email account. Okay. Slow and steady wins the race when it comes to cold emails, but you want to start as soon as possible because you have to go through the warm up period, and that's going to take about 7 to 10 days. And also, this is the most economically sound way to generate leads, other than content. If you want to just shoot content from your phone and then post it, and then hope for the best there. So tip 3 is the fortune is in the follow-up. So most replies to cold emails, y'all, it don't come on email 2, 3. The answer usually don't come on email 1. For me, it is either 1 or 2. I'm getting a little I've been in the trenches a little bit with this, but your first email like that really gets responded to usually is like the 4th or 5th one down the line, if you're actually sending valuable information, personalized information, stuff that business owners can really use right now to have a positive impact, either with some money or some time. That's the only thing that you need to be sending people information about data. Anything, it needs to be able to make them some money, or it needs to be able to save them some time. Period. Point blank. Like, you don't need to be sending anything else. All right. So most people, like, they send a couple emails and they give up, and you just can't do that, because this is literally a volume game. The same way cold calls is a volume game. Tip number 4 for you guys is clean your list constantly. As you see on my instantly, I hit a bounce rate. Let's see what it was. Let's see what it was here. It was, oh, they don't have the data here. They don't have the data here. It's not populated right now. Sorry, you guys. But bounced emails, it really kills your reputation. Like I said, I do have strong emails. Let me go ahead and show you guys. I do have a health score. Like, my health scores are really good on my email accounts because I've been doing this a little while. But you don't want to get into the habit of sending emails to bounce accounts. Okay. So instantly pauses your campaign if you are sending to a significant amount of bounced emails. So you can have that kind of guardrail for your campaigns if you use instantly. I'm pretty sure smartly and everybody else has it as well. So clean data gets you good results. Bad data, I'm going through this right now, you guys, with my system, where I am literally trying, like, I have been, like, the past week, I have been cleaning up the data in this system, because I cannot make any real decisions or data driven decisions if my data is not correct. Data is very, very important to me. This was actually the first certification that I got when I got out of prison. I was working at a temp agency, at a warehouse. I used to bring my computer to work like 12, 16 hours a day and get my Google Data Analytics certification, because data is literally all that we have when it comes to making decisions that are sound or business sound. Yes, go ahead. Sometimes, if you want to, go with your gut. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest with you and transparent. Every time I went with my gut when it came to business, like, it just didn't end up right. Sometimes it did. More times was better when I used data as my foundation for any type of decisions. Okay. So that's the cold email system, you guys. Everything I showed you within the email system is real. It is in production right now. This is what I use. And I would love to really kind of, like, teach anyone that would love to see this. So if you got value from this, share it with somebody else, person who you like, dislike, who cares. And let's go ahead and get some money, y'all. Okay, AI is here. We can use this to build our businesses. If you want to build something like this in the future, the link to the AI Accelerator program is in the description. Y'all holla at me. I'm out. Love Shots Media. Let's go.